Hello, my awakening soul family. Welcome back to the Conscious Revolution. I am Melanie, and today we're moving from awareness into action. In the last episode, we talked about how we were programmed and shaped by the systems that we never consciously chose. Today, we're talking about the next step. How do you deprogram yourself? How do you break free from those beliefs that were never really yours to begin with? But deprogramming starts with a simple but kind of radical truth. You can't change what you don't see, hence the awareness, right? Most of the beliefs that are running your life right now, like invisible little software programs, are shaping your thoughts and emotions and choices. They're subconscious. Yikes, right? So the very first step is awareness. We need to catch those thoughts that sound like I have to, I need to, I'm supposed to, I should. I should catches me all the time. I'm working on that. We need to notice the patterns that feel heavy and limiting and suffocating almost, right? We need to pay attention to those moments when you say, this just doesn't feel like me. This doesn't feel right. Okay. Because that's your soul tugging at the seams of the old scripts. Okay. Once you start noticing, you start loosening its hold on you, because awareness is key. When you don't realize that those beliefs are not actually yours. You weren't born with those beliefs, okay? When you don't realize that, you just kind of accept that that's what things are. When you realize that those beliefs came from something outside of you, it's so much easier to be like, ew, that's not mine. Get off me, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's the key, is first just realizing what is yours and what is not. So how do we identify those false beliefs? Okay. So first, you need to ask yourself, who told me that was true? Whatever this belief is, because you're going to catch them like one at a time as different life situations occur. And you're like, wait a minute, why do I think that? Right. The first thing I want you to do is ask, who told you this was true? It could be parents, it could be authority figures, it could be just society in general. The media is a big player in this, right? And then, is this belief based on love or fear? Because conditioned beliefs are absolutely based in fear, and your true beliefs will feel like they're based in love. Does this belief expand or shrink me? Okay. Because real truth feels expansive. It lights you up. It gets you excited. You're like, yes, that makes sense to me. Okay. Real truth makes sense to you. That's, I should just said that, right? Real truth makes sense. But conditioning feels heavy and limiting, and kind of like you have these questions in the back of your head, like, why do we have to do it this way? Right. That's conditioning. So if a belief requires you to abandon yourself in order to be accepted, it's not your truth. That's a big one. That's a big one. So here's just a little exercise that you can do with any of the beliefs that you manage to catch, that you become aware of, to decide if it's yours or from somewhere else. Okay. So let's practice this. Take one belief that you've carried probably for years and years and years. Let me think of one that I think relates to most. Okay. So success means having a big house and a fancy job. Kids, life, right? Realness. Sorry. So success, let's say success means having a big house and a fancy job. Okay. Now ask, where did that definition come from? Who told me that that's what success must look like? Okay. And how does chasing that version of success make me feel in my body? Does that feel like something I truly want? Like, we all want success, but do you want that version of success? Some people might. But some people, your version of success is something different, and chasing that version of success might feel fake to you. You might one day achieve it and you'll still feel like empty. Like, why am I not happy yet? I've done all the things they've said. Okay. And then I want you to really think, like, because if that doesn't feel like success to you, what does your soul's version of success look like? And that's going to look different for everybody. And it should, right? There might be some other people that have a similar view of what success looks like, but like in general, it's going to look a little bit different to everybody, because what we each find fulfilling and satisfying and what makes us happy is going to be individual and different. Okay. So this is real right now. I'm not even cutting this. So don't judge yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to all the versions of success and what it should be looked like to you and other people growing up, like right now. Okay. Listen to your soul. What does success, what would that look like to you? What is that daydream you have in the back of your head that that's what you really want, but this is what you have to do. What is that thing you really want? What would you rather be doing? Okay. You want to run off into the woods and live like a nomad, and that's your success. Some people, that's what I'm saying. Okay. So this is about giving yourself permission to rewrite this story, because you're the author. You always have been, but we kind of gave other people the pen. But now you're taking that back. Okay. You're the author now. You are writing your own story. So give yourself permission. Now, what happens as we start to deprogram this? Okay. When we're shedding old beliefs, something magical happens. You stop living for the approval of other people. You stop chasing somebody else's definition of success. You start making choices that actually nourish your soul, that actually make sense to you, that feel fulfilling and actually bring joy into your life. Like there's a reason why you're alive. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that come to me asking what the purpose of life is. What is their purpose in this life? Because they just feel so lost and like nothing brings them joy. Okay. You also start attracting people and opportunities that align with your authentic energy. So people that you make sense to and that makes sense to you. Opportunities that lead to that vision of success that makes sense to you. So you can actually achieve a life that feels fulfilling and successful. And it may not look like the big house and fancy job. And that's the best part. That's okay. That's the point. You're writing this story now. I will say that, yes, I know that this sounds a little crazy and it feels a little scary at first. That's okay. I know, I get it, because our mind, our ego, it loves familiar things. It loves its comfort zone, even when those familiar things are painful. But freedom is always worth facing our fears for. And a lot of times we have to face a major fear in order to pursue true freedom. Okay. Deprogramming is not a one-time thing. You're not just going to do this once and be like, okay, I'm free. Okay. That's not how it's going to work. It's a lifelong relationship with yourself. And who better to have a lifelong relationship with than yourself? Because you're living for yourself now. That's the point. Part of that lifelong relationship with yourself and understanding what your true belief system is and what is authentic to you is asking the questions. It's having the courage to ask those questions. The ones you've probably always wanted to ask but never do, because you just come to accept that this is just how it is. But somewhere in the back of your mind, they were there. They were like, but why? Why does it have to be like this, right? Those questions. Ask those fucking questions, okay? Even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's hard, ask the freaking questions. That way you can figure out if there's actually an answer to it, or you can be like, okay, there's no answer. Why? There's no reason why I believe this. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Ask the questions. This whole thing is a fierce, beautiful commitment to living your authentic life, living a life where you feel alive, like you feel like you exist. You are experiencing all that the world has to offer. You feel joy and fulfillment and all of the things that I think so many people are lacking today, living lives that were not meant for them because they're trying to live a life that somebody else told them they should be living. Okay. You don't want to live the rest of your life asleep. You don't want to live the rest of your life meeting somebody else's expectations. Meet your own expectations. I'm knocking my glasses off like crazy. It's fine. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to go even deeper. We're going to talk about the true power of awareness and how consciousness is the real force that shapes your reality. Yes, it does. If you're ready to keep peeling back the layers and step into your true power, make sure that you hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, like this video, check out the previous versions of this series, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Okay, and in the comments, let me know what's one old belief that you're ready to let go of, and what's one new truth that you're ready to claim for yourself instead. I'd love to hold space for your revolution. You were never broken. You were just programmed to forget. And now you're remembering one belief, one breakthrough, and one brave step at a time.